Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Emana Amawe. Coming up today, a day after the Lagos fire incident, emergency officials cleared debris of over 50 cars. Edo State Traffic Management Agency educates school children on road safety. And Osun State continues to rehabilitate public school infrastructure. Welcome to the program that brings you news from the length and breadth of Nigeria. One day after 9 people were reported dead and 4 injured in a fire along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, rescue officials are still sorting through the debris. At least 54 cars got burnt when a tanker loaded with fuel exploded just after the Otedola Bridge. But the roads have now been cleared to traffic.
It's the day after the inferno. Sadness and horror is still written on the faces of onlookers. Rescue officials are hard at work evacuating the burned vehicles at Otedola along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Firefighters are still putting out the remains of the blaze. The result is heavy gridlock, commuters trying to get to work. The casualty figures have not changed.
The casualty figure remains 9. Those who are wounded remain 4. Visionscape is there to clean up the whole of this area, and then we will declare this operation totally closed, and then we will allow the police to do the investigation, which I'm sure they've been taking notes.
Rescue workers agree that more must be done to prevent incidents like this from happening in the future.
We will be more careful next time. We'll also be more proactive.
The road is finally open to traffic. Emergency workers are appealing to drivers of articulated vehicles to exercise more caution. Mary Alale Yusuf, Channels Television News.
In the meantime, the Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has visited the scene of the petrol tanker explosion that ignited a horrific inferno on Thursday evening. After assessing the situation, Governor Ambode described the incident as unfortunate and directed the emergency responders and relevant government agencies to remove all burned vehicles from the road. And while commending the fire service, the Rapid Response Squad and the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, the governor said he would take solace in the fact that more lives were saved.
Nobody ever knows when this kind of thing will happen next. We don't like to see onlookers. They should give chance to our first responders and all our agencies to be able to save life quickly. That's the whole essence of having this response unit. And I just want to thank them for being patient with us. We'll continue to try our best and make sure that we mitigate things of this nature in future.
Well, joining us on the program to shed more light on the issue is the Director of Search and Rescue Operations of NEMA, Air Commodore Akugbe Iyamu. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Air Commodore Iyamu, we've had different official and eyewitness accounts of what happened on the Otedola Bridge yesterday.
Yes.
Who knows, probably that accident was inevitable. But do you think more casualties or the loss of lives could have been prevented?
First of all, I want to convey the sympathy of the Director General National Emergency Management Agency, Engineer Yusuf Mehaja, to the people who lost their lives, lost their vehicles, and who are in the hospital. And I also want to commend the response agencies. It was very, very fantastic. Now, for that, I was with the state coordinator, Federal Road Safety. He said we had nine dead and 54 vehicles that were burned. Now, we leave the technical aspect to them to tell us what to deal with, or tell us what actually happened. Now, my DG was very concerned, very passionate. You know, management of disaster across the country is the sole responsibility of NEMA. That's why he has asked me to represent him here, to assess the situation and get back to him for immediate intervention.
Okay, no, the point is, with the way things played out,
yes,
is there anything that could have been done to prevent the number of lives, or maybe to reduce the number of casualties? That's the question I'm asking.
Yes, the thing is that, like I told you, that's the technical aspect. They are working on the road safety is working on it. They will come out with what they think is appropriate for the government to do to be able to prevent such occurrence in the nearest future.
Okay, so you've been on the job for quite some time now.
Yes.
In all your years, have you seen anything of this magnitude?
Well, this one is very mind-boggling. That's why my DG has to act immediately that we'll be here to see how we can intervene. It was very, very, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
Okay, a common problem that we face in Nigeria when accidents of this kind happen is managing the crowds, crowd control. We see people trying to take pictures and all whatnot. Even the Lagos State governor had to appeal to the people to move away because they were hampering rescue operations.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about this?
Well, for that, it's our culture. We are very sympathetic people. So, but the various agencies have to educate them that when there is an incident in a scene like that, there's always a backlash, most times. So, no matter how sympathetic you are, you have to respect the subject matter expert who asks you to keep a very specific distance. We try to control them. You see, yesterday, everybody was controlled, and that's why the casualty figure was very low. NEMA has to make sure that everybody have to leave the scene, they have to stay where they're supposed to be. And other response agencies, the police, the fire brigade, and all, they were all very useful. They all played their role as appropriate. Okay,
but going forward, what words of advice do you have, to avoid situations like this in the future?
Well, to give a general advice here will not be appropriate. This is very specific, very specific. They said it's a very frequent occurrence. I was with the road safety state coordinator. We discussed extensively, and they are going to come out with the technical detail of what happened. From there, everybody will come in and advise us.
Okay, but there's also, there are people who believe that if these heavy-duty vehicles do not ply the roads in the daytime,
yes,
incidents like this will be reduced.
Yes, well, there are agencies that are saddled with such responsibility to test the viability, the technical relevance of such vehicle to be able to advise the government appropriately. So they are all doing that. We, at the stakeholders meeting, we all talked about it. So I cannot preempt them until they come in. So our own, as championed by the Director General, is to see how we can alleviate the suffering of the people, how we can bring succor to them. It's a very, very trying moment. You need to be there to see what actually happened. Okay,
but as an emergency manager, yes, finally, what would you tell me, to do if I find myself in a situation where I need to run for dear life, in a situation as what happened yesterday, yes, unexpected? What advice would you give?
Follow the instruction of the people that are experts in the field.
What if there is no expert there and then? Yeah, well, what do I do?
Well, you see, you have to allow sense of reason to prevail on you. You cannot see a danger and begin to go towards it. Sense of reason is what we should prevail on you.
All right. Thank you very much, Air Commodore Akugbe Iyamu, for joining us on the program and sharing your thoughts with us.